Welcome back to Frontline News. I'm Sasha Lee Hamilton. It's now time for Frontline Business. UC Rusal, which owns Windalco, has signed a 5-year $1 billion pre-export finance facility. This is the first of its kind ever arranged by domestic and international banks in Russia. Rusal says the facility grew from the originally announced amount of $750 million due to market support for its low-carbon and green aluminium smelting technology. Rusal did not reveal the exact interest rate to be paid. The Russian company plans to use a portion of the proceeds of the loan to refinance a $2 billion pre-export finance facility signed in 2017. Technology Minister Fayval Williams said a joint select committee of Parliament is to be established shortly to review Jamaica's Cybercrimes Act. Mrs. Williams said this is part of efforts to improve cybersecurity in Jamaica.
A national focus. In much the same way that governments invest in the infrastructure necessary to protect national borders through legislation, policies, physical infrastructure, and institutions, there's a need for a comparable outlay for cybersecurity to protect electronic systems and networks, mobile devices, scanners, computers, and data from attacks that inflict immeasurable damage to economies in a matter of minutes. Our Cyber Crimes Act of 2015 is part of the legislative framework. It requires a mandatory review after 3 years. A joint select committee is required to be established, and we will move to have the committee.
She says although Jamaica has a favorable rating in the region as far as cybersecurity is concerned, there is room for improvement.
And leveraging the support of regional and international partners. The International Telecommunications Union Global Cybersecurity Index 2018 classifies Jamaica as having maintained a medium level of commitment to cybersecurity. Jamaica is the only CARICOM member country to be so classified. Jamaica is ranked 94 out of 175 globally, 11 out of 33 in the region, and number 1 among English-speaking countries. We have to seek to improve our...
Now in the 8th month of its grounding of the 737 MAX, Boeing's fastest-selling plane ever, once prized for its cost efficiency, is proving to be the opposite. Costs are rippling through Boeing's supply chains and its customers, and even denting the growth rate for the U.S. economy. The CNN has more.
From the beginning, the 737 MAX was marketed as a money saver.
The 737-8 can carry 12 more passengers in it.
And it worked. By the start of this year, airlines had ordered more than 5,000 of them, Boeing's fastest-selling plane to date.
We're going to be issuing an emergency order of prohibition to ground all flights.
The global grounding in March in the wake of 2 deadly crashes turned any promise of cost efficiency on its head. Boeing's own costs, including customer compensation and higher production costs, have topped $9 billion.
The 737's 40% of their earnings, a third of their cash flow. For all of Boeing, right? So it's a big number. It's a big contributor to the profitability of the company.
Since April, Boeing halted all deliveries and slowed production from 52 to 42 planes a month, finished aircraft piling up in employee parking lots. JP Morgan estimates that production slowdown shaved 1 to 0.2% off U.S. economic growth in the second quarter.
It is enough to leave an imprint on the economic data. We don't think it's enough to really slow the expansion. But if we were to see production slow or just hypothetically stop, that would have the potential to impact the suppliers and the employment at those suppliers.
There are signs that's already happening. Spirit Aerosystems, which makes the plane's fuselage and relies on the 737 for 50% of revenue, has embarked on a cost-cutting program, including a hiring freeze and voluntary retirements. General Electric, which makes the MAX's engine, has seen a $600 million hit to its cash flow. And then there are the airlines.
At any given time, one airplane might have upwards of 5 different crews. So you're talking 10 to 15 pilots, on some of those airplanes, 3 or 4 flight attendants. So times 5, right? So you have a large crew structure that's tied to that airplane that basically went on the beach at cost.
American Airlines estimates it will cost them more than $500 million this year. For European travel company TUI, it's more than $300 million.
We have removed the 34 MAX aircraft from service.
Southwest, the plane's biggest customer, says the cost this year is north of $400 million. Its pilots' union is also suing Boeing, claiming $100 million in lost income. And the airline, which only flies the 737, including older models, now said to be rethinking that exclusive relationship. A sign that even when the plane returns to the skies, this crisis may leave permanent damage.
In Wednesday's trading session, the JSE Combined Index advanced by 2,130.62 points to close at over 488,000. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 62 stocks, of which 28 advanced, 24 declined, and 10 traded firm. The junior market index declined by 4.61 points to close at over 3,000. Stocks advanced for 138 Student Living, Blue Power Group, Caribbean Cement, Siboney Group, and Epley. Stocks declined for Access Financial, Barita Investments, Berger Paints, Caribbean Producers, and Elite Diagnostic. Trading firm were 1834 Investments, MG Packaging and Paper, Carreras, Consolidated Bakeries, and Everything Fresh. Wigton Wind Farm ordinary shares was the volume leader with over 19 million units, followed by Lasco Manufacturing with over 11 million units and Lasco Distributors also with over 11 million units. And news in oil prices fell on Wednesday as worries about a possible delay in resolving the US-China trade war competed with a price-supporting drop in US crude inventories. Brent crude was down 70 cents at $60.90 a barrel. Meanwhile, U.S. West Texas Intermediate WTI crude was down 92 cents, selling at $54.62 a barrel. And that's it for Frontline Business. I'm Sasha Lee Hamilton. Pleasant viewing.